friggin' week off. Too young to be tired. Everybody stand up. Just sit down. Sit down. Stand up. Stand up. Get up, Aristotle. Stand up. Stand up. Slap the person next to you as hard as you can. No, don't do that. Okay. Sit down. Jeez. Killing me. Anybody doing anything exciting? Went to the beach? Good spring break? Work? No? Why not? Who said no? Why?
My nephew got baptized.
That's a terrible thing?
Oh, no, I just didn't get to go to the beach.
It's what?
I just didn't get to go to the beach.
Oh, sad for you.
Yeah.
Those damn family members. You want to have a family one day?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll say goodbye to the beach forever. Okay, unless there happens to be an event at the beach that your kids are going to that you have to pay for. Okay. Huh? Just be rich. Yeah, it's a choice. It's that easy. Okay? It's easy. All right, we ready? You are a college student. Oh, that's good for you. You work part-time as a receptionist in an apartment building for elderly persons. Last winter, many of the building's tenants who had become your friends complained that their apartments were cold. When you made comments to the boss, you were told to tell the senior citizens that the furnace was out of order. But you knew that the boss had simply turned down the central thermostat to save money. Many of the tenants in the apartment buildings have become friends of yours, and you like them. What are we doing? Huh? On what?
Your living situation, your mom's situation.
Why?
If you can't afford to lose that job, you're going to put that job in jeopardy, and you need to eat next week.
Uh-huh. So,
You would just not eat, not have a house, be homeless.
okay, it's a part-time job. What are you going to do?
It's just a little white lie.
What are you going to do? What is Zach Richardson going to do?
Richardson's going to decide based on the information he has.
I just gave you the information.
Well, yeah, but do I need this job to continue to pay my rent?
You need the job, but there's other jobs.
Well, if I can...
It's today in this economy right now. What are you doing? Are you telling them or not?
What's my name?
Enough. It's a part-time job. You make enough to pay your extra bills.
Probably tell them.
Tell the senior citizens?
Yes.
Okay.
And one guy.
Okay. Thanks, Switzerland. Not yet. Would you tell them that the boss really turned the central thermostat down? Would you tell them the truth?
Oh, okay, then yes.
Why?
Because I feel like that's the right thing to do, and I wouldn't be disappointed in myself making that choice. And if it's a part-time job, I can always get another one if I get fired.
Okay. Casey.
I would tell them that it's broken, but then go talk to my boss and then say we need to turn it up, whatever, to like fix it because they're paying for this service and we're denying them that service.
Okay. So
So
you're still going to lie.
yeah.
Okay. But try to solve the situation. Okay. I'll take it. Carter?
Yeah, like what is telling them going to accomplish? Just them regretting complaining more? I mean,
Well, you're letting the cat out of the bag, right? So you can tell them so they can put pressure on the boss. I mean, you're just a part-time college student employee who works there. And you consider a lot of them your friends. You've gotten to know them. They're nice old folks. They're nice to you. And you like them.
and has the boss asked us not to?
Correct. The boss said, tell them it's broken.
Okay.
But you know that the boss just turned it down.
I would tell them to get some more blankets for now, and then go to the boss and be like, hey, is this really the right thing to do?
Okay, and he says, yes, it's the right thing to do. We're trying to save money. He's sticking with his line, thinking.
I'd probably just not tell them because my boss has to be not to.
Okay. All right. Ryan?
I'm bargaining with the boss. I'm going to say, look, if you're going to save money by turning on thermostat, I'm getting a raise, but I'll keep your seat.
He's not going to give you a raise.
I will screw him. I'll tell him. I want this to work out for me.
You gotta remember, you're easily replaced as a part-time employee and a college student.
Anybody's easily
Actually,
replaceable.
that's fair. Yeah.
Just kidding.
And
I would tell them quit.
it was like 30 seconds before he flipped.
Yeah, I forgot it was part-time.
It's like,
job.
it,
I
like
know
it's
about
a,
another
it's
job.
getting faster every time. Like, Connor will be like, I would do this, and then like we don't even finish the next sentence. He's like, no, I changed
I
mine.
didn't think about getting another job. Like I would tell them I don't want to work for somebody like that. Now that I
Okay.
Just get a partner at McDonald's.
Okay. Right. They pay well. What do you got?
I wouldn't tell them, it's looking at it like a boss perspective, this economy. Whatever they don't know, will hurt them.
It is hurting them,
They're paying
It's more
for it.
blanket.
huh?
More blanket. They're old. Okay.
It's look. You probably won't make it, but one day you'll be old. Okay, and the circulation won't be the same.
We'll see about that.
You won't be
How far
squatting
I'll make it.
315.
I don't know how far I'll make it.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see. All right. Who else? What are we doing? Yes.
I don't. I mean, they're like somebody else said, like they're paying for it. You know, like they're paying to live there. They're probably not. It's not cheap to live wherever they live. Probably.
Uh-huh.
Like it's the AC. Like there's no way it costs that much more. You're saving that much more by, you know,
Okay.
cutting it down.
Okay.
Like that's. I'm not gonna lie about that.
Cool. All right. Gareth.
A lot easier to explain going into another part-time job to people who leave it that, hey, the boss is leaving, therefore I decided to leave, not the moral standpoint, rather than staying and going to get fired, and having to explain the situation there.
Denny.
I don't,
Why?
for the same reasons that everyone else has said, like,
Okay.
you easily get a job somewhere else, especially if it's part-time. That's a pretty shitty thing to do, like, buy an old person who's paying to live there.
Yeah. What if it's your grandparents?
Do you want partners?
You don't care?
I'd buy him a blanket.
I'm about to say my grandparents have blankets.
I also would never send my grandparents to a nursing home.
My grandparent, I have a grandparent who actually lives in like that type of apartment building
Mhm.
because I spend like my winter break there.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And would you want her treated that way?
no.
Okay. Who else? Who wants to go into healthcare? A few of you. Chase. Right. That's right.
Hey, I'm going healthcare sales.
You'll be wonderful. Okay, Chase. What are you doing?
Just get more blankets.
You're not telling them?
What's it gonna do?
Jesus.
Out of the way! Yeah!
I mean, you can go to Goodwill and get 20 blankets for like $20.
I'm pretty sure they have blankets. They're
Old
still
people are always
cold.
cold, though.
Exactly.
So why are they? I would just be like.
They're
"You're
awesome.
cold."
So they're being deceived, right? There's deceit in there. There's intentional deceit. What do you got? Did you change back?
No, them being cold is not that big of a deal. But what is a big deal is working for an unethical boss.
Okay.
That's-
So what are you doing?
I'm going to the boss. Hey, you tell them. If you don't tell them, I'm going to tell them that I'm quitting because I don't want to work.
Okay. Fair enough. I'll take it. You manufacture keys. You're accused of providing master keys for automobiles to mail order customers, even though it was obvious that some of your purchasers might be automobile thieves. Your defense is plain and straightforward. If there's nothing in the law to prevent you from selling your keys to anyone who wants them, it's not up to you to ask the customer's motives. Is it any worse for you to sell keys by mail, you ask, than for mail order houses to sell guns that might be used for murder? Are you responsible for the consequences of selling the master key?
Wait, what?
They allow that?
You make master keys, yeah. You gotta pay for them. They're generally expensive, right? But you can order keys for cars, right? You can order a master key for a car. Usually you need a VIN or something like that, which are not hard to get. Okay. You can justify selling them, even though you know that some of the people you were selling them to are using them to steal cars or break in. You gonna keep working there? Why not? You just needed the job. Why aren't you working there?
Well, we're about some master key guy, I mean,
You just work for the company. All you do is process the orders. Somebody calls you up, here's $200, I need a key for an F-150. Master key. You good?
and you know that it's not,
You're pretty sure that these people are not using them because they need them for their truck. Then what? What are you doing?
well, I'm going, there's some sort of labor board for this, I submit that.
Okay.
Because one, you could be held criminally liable for something like this. Two, it's unethical. So if you were to,
It's not unethical because what if you lose your
You don't know.
Don't-
There's no guarantee.
You're assuming. You're assuming that some of them have malintent. You're pretty sure.
Oh, I thought you said that you know.
I mean, you know that they don't all need the keys. But it's not in your job requirement to ask them what they're using them for.
Well, I mean, if you don't know that, that's that. Then
So you're good with it.
if you don't know,
Bless you.
if there's no way for me to discern.
There's no way that you know for sure, but you know. Does that make, like, you know what I mean? You don't know that you can't guarantee it. You can't guarantee it. But you're certain that these people do not have good intentions. You don't know what intent, you don't know to the extent, you don't know how many, you don't know what damage they're doing.
Bother me, I would work somewhere else. I'd find other
You would work somewhere else. Okay, what'd you have, Garrett?
I mean, that's like kind of similar to selling a pocket knife.
Yeah, or a pistol. That's why I brought up.
Be like, okay, use it in self-defense. If someone doesn't, why should I be held liable to that? It's
Sure.
all that.
So are you good?
Firearms, you're gonna have background checks. Knives, you're not. But you're,
Not at gun shows, you don't have to have a background check.
that's true. But I'm saying, like, people are gonna do bad things if they wanna do bad things. It's really hard to monitor now.
Sure, you're exactly right. It's not illegal. What you're doing is not illegal. Right? You can sell the keys. Doesn't matter. You're not breaking any laws. But there's some shady stuff going on. What are we doing?
I mean, I'm just gonna do my job. I don't really care what they're gonna do with it. And also, if they don't buy it from me, they're just gonna buy it from another company. So I might as well just make a little bit of money.
Okay, fair enough. Connor.
I'll talk to the company. Hey, I'm pretty sure some of these guys are sketchy.
Okay?
What would you do?
Yeah.
It's like, you can't just, like.
We got to sell the
our-
keys.
While the gun owners, I was watching a TV show and there was like there's a cell phone salesman that happened to be selling cell phones to terrorists.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't know.
Okay.
Is he responsible?
Is he?
So I would say that you gotta talk to the company, hey, I think there's sketch stuff going on, but there's no real way of actually determining if if there isn't, because there might be, determining if these guys are thieves.
Okay.
So then I would mark the company that, hey, we probably need to make a system of blank, and
Okay.
still look there.
Okay. Ryan?
I think it would very much depend on kind of the atmosphere and when I'm selling the keys, kind of who I seem like I'm talking to. Like, if it seems like it's a bunch of sleaze bags that I'm talking to, then no, I'm probably not going to work there. But if it seems like mostly legitimate people
Okay.
who need these,
It's 80-20. Most of them are
okay,
legit.
then yeah, I'll work there. Sure.
You're good. So the 20% worth it?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Okay. You're running a research firm, all right, and you're doing research in the inner city. You've hired 3 people to go do surveys in the inner city. 2 of them quit on the first day, and the 3rd one got mugged, right, on their first day. So you need to replace them, and you're interviewing. Are you going to tell the people that you're interviewing what happened to the last 3 candidates, the last 3 employees? Yes? You're working at a research firm, and you're doing research at an inner city, pretty rough neighborhood, and the last 3 researchers you hired, 2 of them quit on the first day, and the 3rd one got mugged and then quit. So as you continue to interview candidates, are you going to tell them what happened to the other candidates? Why? Why?
I don't want somebody working for me that doesn't know what they're getting into,
Okay?
because they're just gonna leave inevitably anyways.
Okay? Blake?
Yeah, I'm definitely going.
Okay?
If it's that high risk,
If it's that high, I thought you said it's the IRS.
No,
If it's that high risk. Okay. East Texas, man. All the words run together. Frederick.
I think it might be more difficult to find a good candidate, but you'll find better people for the job if you're willing to take it on.
Okay. Okay. What are we doing? What are we doing? You telling them?
absolutely don't.
Okay.
You'd be like putting them in an unsafe situation when you know about it before.
Can't control it. We don't have any idea what's going to happen there.
Right, but it happened to the other 3 guys, and it's most likely going to happen again. So.
Well, only one of them actually got mugged. The other 2 just quit.
Yeah. Right? So
That's-
33%.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's 1 out of 3.
I might leave that part out.
Bergeron.
I was just telling them, like, the other 2 guys, they just quit.
Okay, so we're only telling them about the guy that got mugged? Okay, so Han comes in to interview and you're like, it's a great job. It's good luck.
Well, I would tell them, well, the mugging, I think, would be a deterrence enough.
of whether you hire them or not? What do you mean?
Like it's a description, like this is inner city, it could happen,
Okay.
high probability.
Yeah.
One guy got left.
Right. Connor?
Tell them for all those reasons. Plus, costs a lot of money to train somebody. You want to keep them.
Yeah.
Like as a business owner, so you want something that's gonna stay because otherwise you lose on money.
Okay. Casey?
So,
I was gonna say we should also change the policy and probably not send people out by themselves and do like pairs or something.
Gonna cost you more, but
That's
okay.
fine.
I'll take it. Here's out.
I would say no. I feel like they should know the rough city. I would say that's a high crime rate and going in the inner city. There's a lot of crime that happens.
Okay.
There's
So
no reason to tell them about the last employee.
rolling the dice. Okay. Gareth, you have something else?
I'd actually agree with the college system. I think that's really smart to have two people for research team. Anyways, we're in a time right now where literally anybody can access like reviews for jobs, and I guarantee you, someone got mugged during their job, and they could have they'd probably send up a review that, hey, if you're trying to get into this, just be ready to go into a dangerous environment.
You're assuming they did due diligence.
I feel like you know though. You're going in a rough city.
I mean, you don't know where you're gonna be, right? If you're out doing research,
You're also gonna
right? You might be in Highland Park.
every city's gonna have a rough spot too. That's the problem. You might have gone to a back alley or something like that.
Correct, but not all the research has to be done there.
Too, so I mean that's
Say that again?
it could be part of his job to sit in your city survey.
Yeah, you could, right?
I'd still tell them, it's just a matter of like, also you got to think about these guys are probably online as well and sharing their, what happened, so.
You would assume, but
Oh, yeah.
but what I'm saying is that's not gonna happen for.
Assumptions based on this stuff, but I mean, it's.
That's not going to happen for everybody. I mean, you can have a really good job and totally unrelated. And I mean, I had an Air Force buddy at Key West right after he went to the ATM. Big dude. Dude's like 6'5", back of the head, right? They hit him over the back of the head right after he went to the ATM, right? Took all his cash. So it can happen anywhere, but whether you're going to tell the employees or not. What are you doing, Bauer?
I think I'll tell them just for transparency's sake. Like someone else said, it's expensive to train people. It takes a lot of time and money. So if if you don't tell them and spend all that time and money training them, and then they leave the first day, then you're out another employee and you're in the exact same position you were before. So
Okay.
I think telling them is important.
All right. Are any of these illegal?
No.
So why does it matter? Huh? What about them?
are you willing to do something unethical to benefit yourself?
Yeah. In each of these three scenarios, is it right versus wrong?
No.
Who said yes? Why?
Clearly somebody's there's a way to do it where you're doing it to manipulate some sort of balance about each situation.
I would say so. Bergeron?
I was gonna say, like, the law doesn't really determine every single ethic we have. And it's not that over,
Doesn't determine most of them.
yeah, exactly. So, the ill intent on the other parties is, I wouldn't say for the quantities, I wouldn't say it's a right versus, or wrong versus right, because you don't have any,
If you know it's being used for wrong, then there is. Right? If you know that they're using it for malintent, then there is a wrong. If you're unsure, yeah, we could validate that. But if you know that they're using them for wrongdoing, then there is a wrong side. Connor?
Yeah, I would agree. Like one and three, definitely a wrong side, like ethically wrong side. Number two, like if you're selling groceries, I'm sure that you're probably selling groceries to a criminal. You're feeding a criminal, you're a bad person. No, like it's unless you can't know for sure. It's
But those groceries aren't being used to commit a crime.
yeah, but you use a car, you sell a car that gets used in the bank heist, or you use
Yeah.
all from it.
That's a
unless you
yeah.
know for like a fact,
Okay.
then I would say that there's not a wrong side of the case.
You just plead ignorance. That
Okay. That's the point. Okay. What type of world do you want to live in?
I have money.
Right? But do you want to live in a world where we turn the other way for how the senior citizens are treated? Or that anyone can buy car keys to steal your car?
I don't really want to live in a world where I have to get questioned for every purchase I make. So, even if I'm buying this key, I don't wanna have to be interrogated to make sure that I'm buying it for the right reason.
But that comes back to what we talked about earlier with the librarian and the detective. If you did nothing wrong, do you have something to fear?
It's just annoying.
Okay. Is it worth jumping through the hoops? Would you rather there be background checks on guns?
Yes, but I don't want a
It's still
background check to
annoying.
buy a key.
Huh?
I don't want a background check to buy a key.
So you're making your money and you're out there and you got an Escalade and Bauer's struggling and he's gone crooked because we expect that of him, okay? And he's buying key to steal your Escalade because it was easy for him and you didn't want to be
I
hassled.
mean, yeah, I'm gonna be mad, but like,
Well, it's also it's not actually that easy to get a key for an Escalade. It has to be programmed, and that has to be.
Alright, it's a different
All you
car.
gotta do is
It's
pay
a
for it.
different car.
It's $400 to buy the program key. How much is the Escalade?
Well, you have to program it to that.
I made a
specific-
lot of money. No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
The push button comes out and you turn it in the tumbler. Everyone with a program remote start still has a key.
somebody could always just bash my window.
They can, right? And it still sucks, right? Absolutely right. Hannah, what were you gonna say?
Well, kind of like what we were saying, like all these situations, you have to insert yourself to do something.
Correct.
Like you could go on living, and if you're fine ethically with that, it's what it is. But like for me, I can't ethically continue living like that because I couldn't sleep at night. It would mess with me.
So you want to work in healthcare, man? Can you turn the other way if we're neglecting people for blood transfusions? Like,
Wait, say that again?
are you going to be okay if we have enough blood but we're saving it for certain people? I mean, are you going to be able to handle?
Sometimes you have to ration. It totally depends.
Right. It
Limited
absolutely does. That's
resources,
the point.
Unlimited wants and needs.
Right. But can you sleep at night? You said just plead ignorance. So are you going to be comfortable with that, knowing that somebody could have been saved had we given them the transfusion versus saving it for somebody else?
I mean, I deal with that all the time. I mean, Jehovah's Witness people oftentimes refuse blood transfusions, and I've watched people die because of that.
Right.
I mean, I have to be able to sleep at night. It's part of the job.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's tough jobs like that. Connor.
And 1 in 3, you can actively do something to change. And
All of them you can.
And 2, unless you decide to create policy, but that's really vague. I mean, you're not really in that. You're a low guy. You don't really have the influence to do something like that.
Yeah,
so
you do.
If you quit, someone else is going to fill the job and just continue to do it.
Yeah, but could you make an impact before you quit or get fired? Can you? I mean, Kaysen came up with a great idea, right?
For which
Yeah,
one?
yeah. That's why I'm saying keep the job and.
For the research. So sending 2 people.
Oh, I think he was talking about the key
Selling,
one.
Okay.
Try to do your best to make change. That's why I would say keep the job.
Okay, but does where you are in the totem pole matter to make change?
Yes.
Why?
Authority.
Why? What does authority have to do with it?
A fish isn't going to affect the mission and vision of an outfit. Like they can't create change as a fish for the mission and vision of an outfit just because of authority.
Who's responsible for changing? We didn't have the leadership model that we have now in the Corps until fairly recently. Who was responsible for that?
CTOs.
Cadets. Cadets are the ones that came and said, change the Corps. Cadets are the ones that said, I'm a fish, I shouldn't be cleaning up a senior's puke in the hallway at 2 in the morning. That's not why I joined the Corps. That's where the change came from. Hannah's the only one shaking her head because she's been in my classes before. Rank and title don't matter to impact change. They absolutely do not matter. The level of change, maybe. But anyone can present an idea for change. Anyone. Martin Luther King, when he came to Birmingham, Alabama, was an outsider. He was in his 20s, right? Had a degree from Harvard Divinity School. Got thrown in the South. Wasn't from there. Okay? And impacted the change with the bus boycott. Totally new, totally outsider, was not nationally known. Doesn't matter what your rank or title is if you want to impact change. Okay. The level of whether it's accepted, sure, there's variations, but it doesn't mean it can't be done. Right? It shouldn't matter. Some other ones. We ready? It's one of my favorites. You're a cop. Anybody want to be a cop? Usually have 1 or 2. Okay? You're a police officer. Come on the side of the road. There's an accident, and the driver is stuck in the vehicle, absolutely cannot get out. The vehicle's on fire. Can't get him out. Vehicle on fire, burning alive. He is screaming for you to shoot him. Please kill me and put me out of my misery. What are we doing?
I'd say sorry, cuz, and drag him out.
You can't get him out.
Can't get him out?
Physically, there's no way of getting him out.
Don't
Then
shoot.
yeah, I'd probably shoot him.
You would shoot,
Yeah.
not shooting.
If I shoot, I'm going to jail.
Are you?
Yes.
No one's around.
They're gonna find out. There's gonna be a full case. Like, you've seen CSI.
Yeah.
You know they're
No one's around. There's no body cam.
There's a bullet in his head.
Correct.
There's a burning
And you pull the trigger.
victim.
Yep.
Go to jail.
You can.
You will.
Not necessarily.
Wait, but body cam is mandatory. You can't just say,
Now,
hey, there's no evidence on anything. There's no this.
there is evidence. It's obvious that you discharged your weapon and you killed him.
Like, I understand that, but you're making it to where, like, there's no proof
No, there's proof.
that, well, there's no proof to back that his last wish.
There's no proof to say that that's what he was asking for.
And I just feel like that's really never gonna happen nowadays.
It does happen.
There's no proof to show that he was asking for that. That just seems like straight up murder. Would you like to take
But
out
he's, you know the truth. You know he is asking you. He's burning alive in front of you. He is dying.
your peers know the truth?
You can't get him out. What?
Will the jury of your peers in front of a prosecutor know the truth?
The only safe betting you got is a polygraph test. They always look at those very seriously.
That's not the only safe bet. Who's not pulling the trigger? Who's pulling the trigger? Why? Chase? No, you already spoke.
Well, I want to, I feel like I was burning alive, I want to just end it.
Okay.
But yeah, it's what they were saying, it's very complicated, because it's like, but then like,
This is not easy. This isn't Fried Chicken Tuesday or not.
investigation point of view, like, obviously, like, he's burning alive, so like, it makes sense that,
Okay, Brandon?
Yeah, I mean, there's no way you can get him out. They're gonna see that, so shoot him.
Okay. Angel, what are you doing?
Same thing.
You gonna shoot him?
Shoot him.
Okay. What are you doing?
Shoot him.
Okay. Who's not? Why not, Mason?
Cause I don't wanna go to prison.
Okay.
For shooting somebody.
Okay. Are you gonna have time to think that through?
I mean, that's a decision that you'd have to think about there for a minute. If you're thinking about whether or not you're gonna shoot him, you're gonna think about the consequences. You're not just gonna.
Maybe.
Bah.
Maybe, depending on the situation.
Is it medically possible to determine if the body was burning first, then got shot, or is it
Yeah.
possible?
You're gonna be able to tell that both happened. Timing wise, I mean, they're gonna be one and the same. But we go back to CSI, usually pretty good at forensics figuring out what happened. You're gonna be able to figure out they were at least, whether you shot him first and then burned him, probably, but I'm not a forensic scientist. Connor?
If there's a terminal cancer patient, no way of surviving,
Uh-huh.
and you shoot them, it doesn't matter if they're like, oh, they're like, even if they do, court comes to find that you're putting them out of misery, shooting somebody is shooting somebody. So, yeah, I don't think,
You know there is doctor's assisted suicide, right?
Not
that doesn't allow the process.
But it does exist.
But we're
It
also
doesn't
not a doctor.
exist, but it's not, it's not years ago.
If it's in 2 states, can I travel to that state and put myself out of my misery if I have terminal cancer?
Sure, but are we assuming we're not in those states?
Yeah, assuming if you're 48 that don't, there's 2 that do it. Oregon was the first. Dr. Kevorkian, you can read about it. Okay.
It takes years.
Huh?
What's the other state?
I don't even know. Oregon kept going back and forth because a judge reversed it. So we voted for it and said, yes, we can do it, and then a judge reversed it. I don't know if they still have it. It's been off and on for decades. What do you got?
I don't know if there's any like people who know the law well enough to know, but like how if all the facts were laid out on a table in front of a jury with evidence suggesting all the facts are true, how does this play out? Like, does anybody know if this is still murder? I think it is.
You have to assume that everyone is gonna agree that the right thing to do in that situation was to shoot him, which I don't think everyone is gonna agree. So
Right.
you could
There's
still not
cases of
guilty.
this. There's tons of cases like this. So you can go look up what
If
happened.
there's any risk of going to prison forever,
Maybe not forever.
if there's any risk of going to prison at all, how about that?
Depends. What do you got? if you're there in the moment, I can tell you, you're not gonna have time to go through all this. If you're there in the
It's not
moment,
to think I'm murdering somebody.
you're not gonna have. If somebody is burning alive and screaming,
I'm killing somebody. You have time to think about that. Do I want to kill somebody?
correct.
And that's what you're.
But that's what they're asking for,
Yeah.
right? Because of the pain.
So-
Cole.
I mean, at the end of the day, it comes down to either you're killing somebody or you're gonna stand there and watch this guy scream and burn to death for however, 2, 3, 5 minutes.
They're gonna die either way.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
I think I'm gonna shoot him.
Okay.
My biggest thing I'm not sure about is like if I get there and he's on fire, my first instinct is gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna pop this guy. Like, if I get
Yeah,
there
you're gonna do everything you can, right? That's what you were bringing up. You're trying to get them. You're gonna do everything you can. You cannot get them out. They're going to burn alive.
Yeah, if I'm there on the scene trying to get him out and I can't, for 5 minutes or whatever, and then the fire starts, then yeah, I'm gonna shoot him. Because then I will know confidently, like, I tried to help this guy as much as I could.
Okay. Shifting gears. What do you got?
What if you
Quickly?
didn't die from that one shot and now you just put him in more pain?
You better unload that magazine. You better empty all of those, man. You can't be like, ow, you shot me, you dick. I'm dying. Finish it, okay? Okay, who wants to have a family one day? Does anybody not? Just checking. Kenneth, you gonna have a family? Maybe. Okay, we're texting them. Okay. All right. So, you and your spouse, right? You have a kid. You're so excited. Everything's gone well. They're healthy. After a year, the hospital calls you. We screwed up. Because Ryan was working there. Okay.
Okay.
Not your kid.
Oh.
Oh, we talked about
We
this.
have your kid. This is not yours. Yeah, we've done an abbreviated version. Okay. Are you switching back to get your genetic birth child, or are you keeping the 1-year-old that you've raised and loved, not knowing any better? Hannah.
What's gonna, like, is it the child I have right
You
now
okay?
gonna go back to the
Yeah, yeah,
normal,
fine.
their normal
I just-
family?
They've been raised by another family.
And like, it would just be,
They're only one. They're going to have 0. They're not going to remember it.
and just the families are swapped.
Yep. You can choose to switch your kids back or not.
What is the other family?
You can keep the kid.
What does the other family say?
Yeah.
It's up to you to decide. They left it up to you guys. Okay, we're switching back, right? Can you take both kids? No, you can't have both kids. The other family wants a kid. Okay. Huh? I made Garrett's head explode. What's wrong?
Like, why would they just let you decide?
You have to decide. Okay, both families have to decide. You're going to have to come to an agreement. But the hospital screwed up, and you can decide: do I want my kid back or not?
Can you sue? A lot of money.
You can, yeah, of course you can. Lillian, although they have, this is exactly why they have malpractice insurance. I don't know why anybody would want to be a doctor in this country. It's a pain in the ass.
I'm not sure if I want a family, but like, if that was my kid, I probably want my actual kid back.
Okay. Yeah, Lenny.
I'd be okay with raising both of them, but definitely
Okay. So you're good either way. That's basically what you're saying.
well, no, I for sure want my actual kid.
Oh, okay. So given the choice, you're keeping. It's buy one get one.
I would definitely raise the one I've already raised.
Okay. If given the choice.
Family,
Okay. Okay. Mike.
Ideally, I'd want my actual kid, but I don't know if I could give up a child who I've been taking care of for over a year and you love as your child.
Yeah, you didn't know any better.
Exactly. I don't know if I can.
Exact same.
What? Hold on, Zach. Yeah, but on paper, that is your kid. Legally, that's where the screw up is. That they screwed him up. This is your kid on paper.
Do a DNA test and you know 100%.
Right. That's yes. We
So then if you know legally that is your kid, that other kid's not really your kid.
legally they belong to the other family.
No, the DNA's different.
We'll go on Maury Povich to figure it out. Okay, which got canceled by the way. What else? What do we got?
Is there anyone here who wouldn't switch? I'm curious.
Is anyone keeping the kid that they've raised for the year?
And like not even wanting the flesh and blood.
I would be totally fine keeping the kid.
Yeah, I'd feel
100%.
I don't think anybody would deny that, but with like obviously Keith, you would want to like, you wouldn't be like, oh, I hate this baby now. Like, no, you. But is there anybody
might.
that like, no, I don't want my flesh and blood?
Well, that's what they're saying, is that they're good keeping the one they have.
And not keeping the biological.
If the other family wants to switch, I'm fine with that too. But I mean, I don't see any reason to complicate matters. If
I want to be there when they grow up. You're like, you can still be a part of somebody's life, not being in a family.
Okay,
Think about
so
friends.
what do you got? What's your result here?
Switching, if the other family doesn't want the other kid, then I will keep both.
Okay, Bergeron?
I say we're all one big family now, right? We all we save each other's lives, but we keep the kids that we have.
One of my favorite answers was we're all going to live together. one big house. We'll all live together and we'll raise the kids and nobody will know it. That'll go well. It's hard enough with a spouse, let alone. Lombardi, you haven't said anything all day.
Yeah, I would want my kid back. It's my blood, my genetics.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
we'd still be friends with the one we raised, but I
Okay.
want my kid.
Okay. I can't remember if I mentioned this or not, but true story. Okay. You work for a company, right? You have one main competitor. There's you and the main competitor, all right? And you're trying to win a government contract, right? It's a big deal. It's worth billions of dollars for your company and your organization. So you present to the government, and then they leave, right? And then you know that they just saw the presentation from your competitor. And one of them leaves behind the plans from your competitor, the bid. So you now have the bid that your competitor presented to the government, okay? You can adjust your bid to be better than theirs. Or you can give it back to them and tell them, hey, you left this behind with the information, okay? So do we use the bid of the competitor to help our own company? Or do we tell them that they left it behind and not touch it? What are we doing? A lot of nodding going on already. Casey?
Give it back to them because after all, like, there's been a lot of work and thought going into whatever, like, we're presenting.
Yeah.
And if, like, my company doesn't think that, if my company came up with a number, that's because that's the number that we think we can accomplish. There's no reason to change it all of a sudden and then maybe win it, but then now be under budget and, like, whatever. You know, because they're not always going to pick, like, the cheapest option. Like, if you have a good track record, they can still go with y'all even if it's a little bit higher or whatever. So I just give it back and go with my own stuff.
Okay. Zach, you're nodding. You're using it?
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Business. It's not business. Of course.
But you won't sell the keys, right?
Okay. You want what? What'd you say?
I said, but he won't sell the keys.
But this is the point. Do you see how annoying and hard this is? Welcome to life. It sucks. Okay? It's hard. Where do you want to live? What kind of organization do you want to live in? What world do you want to live in or work for? Okay? Who else? What are we doing? Who's using it? Using it to their advantage. Chase, why?
Well, I would use it and then
Bless
just look at it and then give it back to them.
All right, so you're going to take the information. So we're still going to find out what it says.
Yes.
And use it to your advantage?
Yes.
Okay, so, I mean, you can't do both, right?
Oh, okay.
I mean, you can, but you're using it.
I use it, yes.
Okay. Who else is using it to their advantage? Who's not? There's a lot of you. Why? Lenny, why not?
I think it just boils down to, like you said, you've got to be pretty consistent with what you do in these scenarios. So if it was my information, whether it was my company's information or my personal information, whatever the scenario is, you would hope that someone else would give it back in that scenario. Just because there's a lot of money on the line. I mean, it does change things in real life because people act differently when money's put in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in theory it should.
Okay. Fred, what are you doing?
Pretty much same as Sam. I think that the proposal is probably going to be competitive.
Okay. Put faith in your own company. This is a true story, Zach. Two companies that build ships for the Navy, right? Two long, old companies on the East Coast. And this actually happened. One of them left behind the plan for the competing company. And it was one of the family members that founded this company 120 years earlier. Okay, and he found it and said, and went and made copies and started distributing it around the office to everyone to show them, here's what our competitor's doing. We're going to use this to our advantage to secure the bid. Some people in the company started saying, this is a bad idea. that guy resigned from his company. He stepped down because he did exactly the wrong thing. Yeah, it's business. Yeah, he wanted the contract. Yeah, he wanted to take care of his employees. But we're also trying to provide a contract that's good on what we can do, what our organization is good at, and what is right for the Navy. And it cost him his career. What do you got, Connor?
Reputation is like extremely important in business. Like if you don't have a good reputation,
It is.
your chances of success are minimal. So like if you have a reputation of being dirty, unethical, manufacturers made ships, who's gonna want to work for you,
Mhm.
and who's gonna want to work with you. So yeah, give an admit back, and then you just earn so much respect for the other company as well.
Sure.
And that can pay dividends down the line.
Yeah, look, it is absolutely cutthroat out there. But a lot of you guys talk about, and I think it's an awesome thing to do, you guys talk about the types of companies you want to work for, like what their values are and what the organization believes, and that's admirable. Not everybody, but a lot of you have that concept in mind, and I think that's great. But a lot of you are probably going to be disappointed at different parts in your career because this is the shit that happens. This is exactly what goes down. Do you want to be a part of it or not? And you have to live and deal with those decisions and consequences. Do I have to go get another job or not? Right? Do I want to be part of this or not? Do I want to turn a blind eye or not? Right? That's the hard part. Because this stuff goes down all the time. There's endless cases of corruption and deceit and dishonesty. It sucks and it's disheartening. Okay? Not everybody, but it happens all the time. So knowing who you are is going to matter when you get into those situations. Favorite answer? Of course it depends. You just had to wait till 482 for me to agree with you. Okay? Of course it depends. It does depend on the situation. If you're fine selling the keys, then who cares? If you're good with that, then be good with it. Right? Just recognize that there might be consequences. Right? That maybe they don't impact you, which is how most people operate. If it doesn't hurt me, I don't care. Right? If you don't believe me, drive through Houston. Right? People drive like assholes. We wouldn't do that in the grocery store, would we? Would you? There's that.
Hey, I'm a good driver.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always
Rightness or wrongness of an act is determined only by the morality of one's own motives or intentions in a given situation. It's not necessarily good or right, but it is the fitting decision. So when you make it, you have to live with it. And I hope that you can live with it. Because that's the hard part. And Aggie does,
Not light cheater steel.
which they stole from the Air Force Academy. Doesn't Aggie light cheater steal?
Sometimes.
Of course we do.
Every day. Huh? Everyone does. I got Eagle Scouts. A scout is,
Trustworthy.
listen, we tapered off. There's like 13 of them, right? Do you know? Come on.
Trustworthy, hold on.
Oh my God.
Trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind of meeting.
Right.
Are they?
Their values to live up to. They're not what you are.
Right, they're like good moral things to strive towards. Yep.
But are you all the time?
No.
Okay.
You never met anyone that is.
So that's the hard part. Right? That's the hard part. Some of them are going to have the right morals and values. Some of them are not. Right? It's defined by your own code of ethics. The problem is most of you don't know what they are. You kind of do. You have them inside, right? But most of you haven't taken the time to define them. And you probably should, to some extent. Make a list. I don't care. Right? But in all honesty, you should work to define those. So that when you get in these situations, you know what you'll do. You'll know what is right according to you. And sometimes that'll be the right answer. And sometimes it won't. Sometimes it'll cost you a job, a relationship. But can you live with it? Did you do the right thing according to who you are and who you want to be? That's where shit gets hard. Yeah. There's some really good stuff in there. This is not a book we use. There's 2 of them by a guy named Rushworth Kidder. This one's called How Good People Make Tough Choices. It's great. It's a short read. There's a lot more examples in there, and it gets into the why and things like that. Then there's another one called Moral Courage. That's similar. It breaks some of these things down that are worthwhile reads if you are interested. I will have today's assignment, or this week's assignment posted. Some of you have missed classes. If you don't know which ones you've missed, you need to ask me. It's interesting when you guys aren't here and then I see you at Duncan when you haven't told me anything. So if you are unsure, you can ask me or email me. You need to make up missed assignments, okay? You watch the video and you write up a recap. All that is in Canvas. We are hurtling towards the end of the semester of your senior year. Don't ever leave. Don't ever leave. It's so much worse out there. It's the best time of your life. Don't believe me now. Just call me in 5 or 10 years. Like, oh my God, that weird guy was right. And your juniors are about to start wearing their boots, right?
Yeah.
Pisses you guys off, and it is hilarious to me. It happens every class. Okay? It'll be awesome. Have a wonderful week.